All right, Springboks, we go to Mbombela where the boys did the things. And by that I mean we showed the Argentine, which you played well back in your home country, but when we come to Mbombela, it's a different ball game altogether. And we smashed them. 48 points on the board. We smashed them. Jay, full strength side, arguably, if you want to put it that way, right? Because they played much different. They're more the regular faces. They played much different to the side that played the previous week. And now we've won, Jay. I have a question, Jay. Owuti, being that we've won, when you look at the entire campaign of the Rugby Championship, this the only time we've lost was against Argentina. You look back and you reflect and you say it was great, or do you bemoan that loss?
It was great. You can't win everything. You simply cannot win everything. And even when we won the World Cup, we didn't win every game. We've never actually won a World Cup by winning every single game from start to finish. So you will give you that one, but and that is the battle. But we'll take the war, and that's what happened over here. And I think I feels as if the South Africans were due a loss out there in Argentina. There was maybe some complacency that crept into the side because of all the winning and the high intensity matches that we're playing against the All Blacks in particular. It's quite difficult to get yourself up emotionally, especially once again after you've had the clashes with your rivals and everything that comes with that, not just the battles on the field, but the things that happen off the field. And we're in Cape Town and the cultural significance of that. So it makes it was a bad loss because we're 17-0 up, but against an Argentina team that came back from 20-0 down against Australia and had won in New Zealand as well. So they're right there. They're a good rugby team, but we knew that we were coming back home. And I feel like this is the way to win the Rugby Championship. Like, do it in front of your home crowd. Eben Etzebeth is becoming the record all-time Springboks appearer. And there's a festival in the air, you shouldn't be winning the Rugby Championship at 1:00 in the morning in a foreign country. It's like, bring it back home. Let's get the records. Let's get the W. Let's get the ultimate trophy, and let's all just feel good and celebrate. And what a Rugby Championship it was. The Springboks were very much, yes, the trophy does declare that, but in terms of you saw the play throughout the championship. The form team, the dominant team, I dare say, and rightly deserved the kind of play that we put out on display. We came back from back-to-back Rugby World Cup wins, and the first thing that we did this season is we are rejigging things. We are putting a new paint of coat on a classic house. And you see Peter Steff, you see Kolisi running in the channels out wide. You see us taking the ball out wide at every opportunity. You see the passes that we're playing in midfield, cutting out players, Fasi coming onto the ball, and you see Fasi coming back from the wilderness and other players of that ilk and establishing themselves and giving coaching headaches. As I'm saying, the main standout is the brand of play. And you know what? For the longest time, the world was saying, "Yeah, we see the Springboks are winning, but it's ugly. It's the big boys, and it's slow, and it's dependent on the set piece. It's the scrums, it's the lineouts, and it's kicks. It's high kicks. It's kicking for territory and for touch. Like, when do they play? They win, yeah, but they win ugly. And I'd rather see some champagne rugby. You will rue the day you wanted to see champagne rugby from the Springboks, because now we still got the physicality, and there is that ball is now flying around and it's fizzing around, and there is some champagne that has come into the Springbok side, and scary times, but not for us.
If you were to grade the other competitors in the Rugby Championship, how would you grade them, giving them A being the best, and then maybe F being terrible? And that's obviously Australia, Argentina, and the All Blacks.
It's an F for Australia.
Yeah,
that goes without saying. They're in a bad place right now, right? And we'll see if they can recover that. I think they, more than the All Blacks, even have suffered the most from not having South Africans play in Super Rugby and only meeting that level of competition when you come to the Rugby Championship. So they come into this undercooked, and we'll see if they're able to figure that out, if they're able to turn that around. So I'd give them an F because it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible this season. They didn't win a match. They won no matches, Chuck. That's That's
No,
a
Jay, did
fake.
they not beat Argentina
Oh
in the
yes,
first round?
my apologies.
Yeah, they got something on the board.
They did get something on the board. They did get something. My apologies to the Australians, the Wallaby supporters. They did get something on the board. But either side of that, they were terrible. Although they also did give a good showing against the All Blacks in New Zealand in their first match. Do I want to upgrade it to something other than an F?
I
Nah.
agree with you. F.
It's an F. It's an F. The All Blacks have a new coach in Reza, and they are rebuilding as well. It's a C because when you consider the very, very high standards of the All Blacks, it's not quite that at the moment. But they gave a good account of themselves against the Springboks, even though they lost both matches, but they did lose against Argentina at home, and that is something that's happened before, yes, but it's not something you expect. So it's not terrible, but it's also not something where you think to yourself, they're very close to the Springboks, because the Springboks get an A, right? And I don't think they were as close as a B to the Springboks. So I give them a C. I'd give the Argentines a B because and they're nudging an A. But they were absolutely blown out in the last match. To be expected. But the wins that they had in New Zealand, the comeback against Australia, the comeback against the Springboks, going into the last match for the first time in their history with a chance to win the Rugby Championship and finishing as they did, having the campaign that they did rather, I'd give them a B.
I think there was a fair assessment, especially I think Reza Ofano. Reza is like in terms of a bit of stubborn, man, because players like Wallace Atiti should be playing. It took a while to get TJ Perinara on board. There are players who should have been there, Caleb Clark as well. So it's just a matter of, guys, these guys are good. Stop trying to be a coaching maverick and get yourself back on the bandwagon, and then the ideas can flow.